The year was 1967, and Roy Roper and Theo Faye Cluth had just founded their corporation, Interstate Amusement. The company's original intention was to purchase the two drive-in movie theaters located in Twin Falls, Idaho. The drive-ins were owned by Roger Marsh of Associated Amusements, based out of Salt Lake City. He opened the Motorview Drive-In in 1947, and the Grandview Drive-In 5 years later, in 1952. The sale was finalized in 1967, and Interstate Amusement finally had its foot in the film industry.
My name is Parker Graves. Been working with Interstate Amusement for about 4 years, 5 years in October. My first summer in charge, it was about middle of the 2010 summer, and then last year's summer I worked at the end of the summer. This year will be my first summer fully managing. I just have to, basically my job is to make sure the employees are doing their jobs correctly and keep track of the money, make sure everything balances, and keep the inventory up to stock, and just deal with film problems. I start the film and just make sure the customers are happy. I work mostly at the Grandview Drive-In. This summer I might be at the Motorview Drive-In, just depends on who's working and if I need to be in place of somebody.
After 2 successful years of business thanks to the 2 drive-in facilities, Interstate Amusement decided to open a theatre of their own. The Cinema Theatre opened its doors on December 17th, 1969. This was the first indoor theatre in the Magic Valley, other than the downtown Orpheum Theatre, which was not currently owned by Interstate Amusement. When business picked up at their one auditorium theatre, they decided to build a second auditorium, adjacent to the current one. Since it was no longer a one auditorium theatre, they had to change the name to the Twin Cinema in 1971 because of the 2 auditoriums. 5 years later, it was time for Interstate Amusement to expand once again. They set their sights on the historic Orpheum Theatre. Located in downtown Twin Falls, the Orpheum Theatre had been in business since 1921. The theatre was originally built for the purpose of being a vaudeville theatre, only showing the latest in popular plays. This historic theatre housed a whopping 900 available seats in its prime. It was later remodeled in the 1950s to become an actual movie theatre. In the 1970s, the Orpheum changed its name to the Mall Cinema due to the many shops located around the building. In 1976, Interstate Amusement purchased the Mall Cinema from Intermountain Theatres, which had operated the theatre since 1936. They later changed the name back to the Orpheum in 1997 to reflect the historical value. In 1978, the second indoor theatre was built by Interstate Amusement, the Jerome Cinema. Located in Jerome, Idaho, the Jerome Cinema is home to 4 auditoriums with 300 seats equally divided between them. By the time the year 1996 hit, the Twin Cinema was a 12-auditorium facility. Interstate Amusement now controlled 17 indoor movie screens and 2 outdoor drive-in screens. In 1998, a threat of business was put on Interstate Amusement for the first time in 10 years. They finally had some competition. The Real Theatre was a 6-cinema theatre being built in the Magic Valley Mall. Interstate Amusement didn't wait too long before they tried to take them down. Just a mere 2 years later, they purchased the Real Theatre on May 24, 2000. They then renamed the theatre the Odyssey 6 Theatre. Interstate Amusement was now the largest Idaho movie complex, with a total of 6 movie theatres in their control. Interstate Amusement went unchallenged until the spring of 2011, when it was announced that there would be a new movie theatre coming to town.
In April 2011, I was actually on my maternity leave when I first got noticed on the new theater, Cinema West building, where the Odyssey used to be. When I first found out, I was a little upset and shocked and scared. I started at the Odyssey, so it was hard seeing it go, and I also I am aware and ready for the competition, but I don't really know how it's going to affect us, and it is scary, especially when it's my job.
It doesn't faze me too much. I mean, it's we've had new theaters in this town before, so I'm kind of excited actually, because it kind of seems like a cool theater, but I guess we'll see.
By the end of May, we also are going to be opening both drive-ins. The Grandview Drive-In will hopefully be open by the end of April. With the Motorview Drive-In, we might be changing our policy on that. We might have new ticket prices, being that we're going to be open for 7 days a week there, opening new movies, rather than having it like we have had in the past, where it's a little bit cheaper, older movies, which the Grandview will still be ran that way.
The drive-in theaters, I don't think it'll affect the business at all, because the new theater isn't a drive-in theater, and drive-in theaters present a different concept to customers. They enjoy being in their cars, they enjoy coming because it's like a tradition to come to the drive-in, so I don't think it's going to affect too much business. What we're going to do with the drive-ins this summer is we're going to open 7 days a week, and to do that, we're doing that because in order to have a new movie open at a drive-in movie theater, or any theater actually, you have to be open 7 days a week. And because the big theater, the Twin Cinema 12, and the new theater coming into town, they're in a certain distance from each other. They can't open the same movies, but drive-ins have I guess they're void to the rule of that, so they're able to open new movies if they're open 7 days a week. So we'll be able to have the same movies as the new theater, hopefully be able to bring in more business that way.
After the Magic Valley Mall cancelled the renewal of Interstate Amusement's lease, they announced that they were bringing in a new theatre to fill their vacancy. This theatre, owned by Cinema West, is a large, mostly California-based company that has dominated the movie industry with its state-of-the-art cinemas. Cinema West currently owns 12 separate movie theatres, with plans to build 2 more on the way. Construction for this theatre began early September 2011. This theatre will have 13 auditoriums, with a few screens expected to be close to IMAX size. Its estimated opening date is May 25th, 2011, just in time to release the expected blockbuster Men in Black 3.
Cinema West has been advertising that they are going to have a couple of auditoriums that are going to be close to IMAX. They are advertising that they're going to have motion moving seats, and they of course are going to be all new and updated. I think that's their advantages over us. I think that their prices will be higher than our prices. Advantages for us though is that we are local, and we do have regulars that come here more than 2 or 3 times a week. They're here all the time. They know us. We're a friendly staff. Our advantages are also that we have the drive-ins, the Motorview and the Grandview Drive-In. We have the Orpheum Theater, which is an historical landmark. We just celebrated its 90th anniversary. And also that we run the kids shows during the summer, which the YMCA, Boys and Girls Club, and also some daycares come here once a week to celebrate our kid shows that we have in the summer for the kids.
Going head to head, I'm not quite sure. It'll be a different concept. Just the Motorview will probably bring in more business just because it's opening new films. It just all depends, because people prefer in their cars or they prefer to be in a theater. It all depends on the customers. The ticket prices are going up. I believe our adult price is currently $6. It'll only go up $1 more, so $7 for adults. Kids, I think, are going to be charged $1, whereas now they're free, so it's not that much of a raise in ticket prices. Opening weekends for the new movies at the Motorview will probably be pretty busy. Usually we bring in on busy weekends, about 150 to possibly 300 cars. And with the new movies, it might be even busier. It just depends. Weekdays might be slower, Monday through Thursday. They're usually slower at any theater, so probably be the same with the drive-ins. The last time we had our drive-ins open 7 days a week was a couple years ago. what happened is it didn't go quite as planned. It was pretty slow on the weekdays, which is pretty normal for most theaters, but it was a lot slower than they expected, so it didn't go very well. But we're hoping so. With the prices of the tickets, they're a little bit different than the last time, and with newer movies opening, it might be a difference, and with a new theater in town, it might cause a little bit of a competition. Last year we started a raffle ticket. Basically, each car that comes in is handed a little ticket, and they fill out their name and I believe it's the city they're from, and we put it into a box down here at the concession stand, and we draw when we go to intermission between the films, and we announce the winner over the intercom system, and basically they just win. Usually the prizes they range between posters, we have banners sometimes, just movie-related objects.
Justin Jones, one of the 3 projectionists assigned to the Twin Cinema 12, is in charge of starting at least 6 projectors multiple times in one shift. Since 6 projectors are currently digital at the Twin Cinema, Justin doesn't have to worry about starting them since they are automatic. He often finds himself in a hurry to start the film projectors on time, since oftentimes more than one movie starts at the same time. Starting a projector may sound easy, but it actually takes some time and skill. A film projector takes many steps before it is ready to be played. The projectionist must first thread the film through the actual projector, and then back onto an empty platter. During this process, they must create several loops in the film to ensure that it plays correctly. The film must be facing the correct way, and all film gates must be shut for it to play properly. Once all these steps have been completed, it is time to hit play and the show begins. Unfortunately, Justin and the other 2 projectionists may lose their jobs here in the near future. With the digital projector market growing so quickly, it is only a matter of time before the theatre he works at no longer needs him. When all 12 auditoriums are 100% digital, a projectionist is no longer needed since they can start themselves. Interstate Amusement has planned to combat this new theatre by upgrading all 12 auditoriums in the Twin Cinema 12 building to full digital projectors. Of the 12 auditoriums, 4 projectors will be 3D capable, so that movies released in 3D can be viewed. Currently, 6 of the 12 projectors are already full digital, and the other 6 are set to be put in place by mid-May 2012. They have also started a new discount hour for people who are unable to pay the full price of movie tickets. This has been done so that they will still hopefully be able to retain some business, and to keep the customers of the Magic Valley happy.
Something new that we're doing at the Twin Cinema is our bargain hour. Our bargain hour is any day of the week, any movie, between the hours of 4 p.m. and 5:30 p.m. All seats are only $5 for 2D movies and only $7 for 3D movies. The bargain hour, I do believe, has brought in more people. Maybe not so much Monday through Thursday, but on Friday we've picked up a lot of business for it, and I think that it's helped a lot. I think that the customers really appreciate it, so I think that's the best effect of it.
Interstate Amusement also has the 2 drive-in facilities in their control. This is probably the biggest wildcard that they have against Cinema West. Who knows who will win the cinema wars in the end? Will it be the local, well-known theatre who has dominated the region for over 40 years, or will the California tycoons sweep them off their feet? Only time will tell. The cinema wars have begun.